Nope.
Virgo, how you doing, guys? Right, okay, so let's see where you are for the first half of January. Okay, so all the information should be updated in the description. If you want a private reading or a Skype reading or anything like that, please email me and we can go from there. Okay, so all songs and anything like that will also be in the description as usual. Okay, so let's have a look. So for the first half of January 2019 for Virgo. Wow, so you've got an ending, which is good. Let's see, an ending. You've got Sergeant Major back again, okay, but this can be good because this means that you are seeking guidance or you are becoming more stern and structured within your own capability of your own power now, of your own power. You know, you're empowered within yourself and you know boundaries, you know limitations, and you know what you will and won't put up with. Okay, this can be very cutting words, so it can be cutting words that are coming in, but hopefully by now you know how to deal with it. This is someone that can deal with it in the right manner. This is someone that's just wise now, you know, it's wisdom as well. It's part of like the Emperor, but it's just sword energy, so it just can mean mental conflict as well, you know, but it also means through ascension of a path, it means that we learn through our mistakes of pain to become an independent person of structure that's rebuilt up within trust. Like you can only really learn to trust yourself more. When you learn to trust yourself more is when you become more of this energy. So then when you absorb this energy through the lessons that you learn through this, through endings, you make your own judgment calls in life, literally. Okay, so that's soul growth and evolution. That's realizing that stripping back your own karma of your soul groups of people. These are also soul groups of people. So you can have children, family members, people in the background like friends, family, people that you meet each day. These are all part of your ascension path. It's a calling where you can learn through your actual soul groups of people through a mirror of what they actually teach you just as much as what you're not looking for, because it's a calling. It's a call to action of something that you can't hear. So you could be listening to a guide, or you could be light workers yourself, or you could be listening to a guide, or becoming more self-reliant of listening to yourself, because this is the hearing. This is what we learn to hear. You know, the soul groups of people that we meet in life, literally, okay, they show you the mirrored lesson. So if you was, because you were dealing with a lot of control and narcissism in your last reading, Virgo, okay, so through my private readings as well, right, is that I've been explaining a lot to people during Skype readings that your soul groups show you more of a lesson of your children or your family, because you have to look at them like souls. You have to look at people as souls of what they need to learn just as much as what you do. When we were children, because of the want, me and I, we kind of forget through the matrix system of our mind of what's created through an ascension of what they learned from their parents and you learn from yours and theirs and yours and theirs. Your mirrored lesson is to do the opposite, because what goes around comes around. It's just a chain of ascension of something that your soul groups of people will also learn from you just as much as you learn them. You just do the opposite of control. You realise that you can't be controlled. So you may have people in your life that you go to work with, or your family members or anything like that, that may be controlling, and they're actually showing you a lesson of something where it's like, well, that's an easier lesson for me to learn because I know how to drop you as a friend because you're controlling. So that's a controlling substance or thing as an energy of something around you within your day-to-day life, okay, that show you the lesson of what happens within your karmic situation of the twin flame from out of space type kind of you know, twin flame means old flame. You know, twin flame means, oh yeah, I used to date someone back at high school, you know, it's just an old flame. When you relate that to spirituality, that's a partnership, well, situationship that you had that broke apart very controllingly. If you're to deal with narcissism now, that just basically means in an ascension of an ending of 1 to 10 and then 10 to 1 again. So this is like past life of what you did to someone else that made them feel like this, basically stabbed in the back, hurt, betrayed, can't take any more. So we learn through ascension that when we then come back through our past life as a soul and we reincarnate, we realised that it was actually us doing it to them, and that's why you've come here to undo it, to strip back the karma, to become bare, to realise that what you're hearing now is you from the other side of the veil of the Akashic Records. The Akashic Records is you telling you, it's your angel. Your angel is you. The best trust that you can ever have is a firm foundation of trust within yourself. It's like the Batman and Superman effect. You're not Batman or you're not Superman, and nor is anybody else, because you can't pull together something that's broken. If it's physically broken, what are you fighting for? You're fighting to stay in a controlling relationship. Controlling relationship isn't something that you need to fight to be in or fight to get out of. If you do, then that's control. You know, it's an easy flowing motion of this energy, which is fresh, new. So you could be meeting someone fresh and new. This is also a guide, but this is also a new direction. This can be communicating with someone new, or just communicating and feeling brand new. You make me feel brand new. Okay, so that might be your song, but they will come in at the end. But that means that great ascension path, that means that you've learned more about yourself and that you're taking a new direction and that you feel very passionately about it. You know, this is someone that is kind of very wise, influential. It's kind of your head above the rest. You know, you don't have to feel bad about that when you've suffered through certain amounts of pain. You just have to realise about self-worth and direction of your own path, of where you're leading, where you can walk out now into society and literally hold your head up high, because you've learned. You learn that people can't control you in any kind of form or manner, and that you can literally lift your head up in society because you are now firm and structured in what you've learned. You've learned through an ascension of an ending. You've realised about control, and you either become a guide or you're listening to a guide that guides you, that you guide others in the chain of ascension of what you become, what others make you become. You become the change of yourself, literally through an ascension chain and path of becoming more stern and structured. Okay, so you learn to take a new direction. You know, because if you look at it as a mirror flip of this is not you, but this is an energy that is very cutting. Okay, this is you back to back. You know, this is you basically walking away from a controlling energy. As a mirror flip too, you're walking away because you are become more structured and stern. That's your mirrored lesson. Your mirrored lesson is forcing yourself apart from fight. It's fight or flight, so you flight. You can't argue with a stupid person because it makes you stupid if you do. Sorry, but it does. Because it's ascension, it's the tower, it causes an explosion of something where you can't manipulate fight. Because what are you fighting for? A chance to stay in a relationship that's controlling? Or someone's fighting you to stay into a commitment with them that is causing a fight? You can't argue with someone that's controlling, because they are controlling within their own right of a path that they need to learn, a valuable lesson, that if you can back away, they call in another situation where they will control them. And they will go backwards and backwards and backwards, because basically real dark energies, they sell their soul to the devil. You know, unfortunately, that's just a path that was written for them, because they decide free will gives you a chance of God to say, well, you know, you can be the best thing that you can be ever, but you have to learn to sacrifice because of the great sacrifice. If you don't learn to sacrifice something for the good, you will always live for the bad, right? So you will always live to fight. Fight for freedom, but what are you fighting for? Someone that fights you? If they're fighting you and you're fighting them, then you don't learn, unfortunately. If you learn to not fight them and you feel free and you feel like this energy, great. Because that means that you have learned, and then you call in new partnerships, situations. Looking back at the past of the person that may still be controlling and hasn't learned, they go backwards through ascension. They go backwards where they find a calling that will call them in a soulmate or someone or a relationship where they will do that thing to them too. And they go back because they live in the dark. The ego. The ego is what keeps the pride alive, and the pride and ascension of the static in the mind that creates the prideful self of where they can't change. They don't, because they're not supposed to, because they were literally just there to show you a lesson of sacrifice. Your sacrifice, this is Panervasu, this is a reward for such hard work and effort that you receive of what you can do when you die in the past life. You died, you know, which we all do, but you died and then you were reincarnated. You know, you was trapped like shit, or they were. You passed on, you reincarnated, and you came here to learn to be more structured and wise through your ascension path of maturity, you know. So then, through maturity, you can feel fresh and new again, like a new soul, a newborn soul. It makes you feel giddy and alive. You know, alive she cried from the other side. You know, are we really here? Are we? Is our soul here or is our meat suit here? Both, right? So why do you live out of the mind? You know, ego, it's ascension of the chain of waiting for things to come in fruition. You can't do that, not really. Things that are built up from the past, if they keep you standing there like that, well, you can stand there for a very long time. So they learn or you learn. If they don't learn to move forward and they wait themselves, then the ascension chain gets broken and you fall ascension that something gets dropped off where this seed can be planted in a new direction because you've learned, you know, basically. But that's not part of the reading. Wow, Virgo, you're giving me a run. That's 4 cards. So let's see, Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus for January, the rest of January. Sorry, for the first half of January. Timelines don't matter, Virgo. Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus for the first half of January. First half of January, yeah, you had the star card. So wish fulfillment can have something to do with an Aquarius or Aquarius in their chart. So you've got, yeah, something that was so slow. This is an energy of, it's kind of like I'm there. It's an energy, you know, don't look at it as a person. It can be in Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or any fixed sign or cardinal sign. Just something that was just so slow in progressing that just kept causing an ending. It's just an ending of a beginning of an ending of a beginning of the same thing. The same thing that someone comes just to keep you stuck. You know, they keep you stuck waiting on something that needs to be said or done, but it never does because it never moves. They've not got action behind it. This is just a pentacle of thought of something that could be stable, but it became unstable. That's why you grow to learn through ascension of that you can't do the waiting game. You know, you have to have action. Action changes things, and action changes time, and it also changes your timeline of ascension through reincarnating the next time of where you've learned. So you get reward, you know, Punavasu, so you get reward for your dharma, for hard work and effort of realising, you know. So you then, in ascension, become a guide yourself. A calling can be anything, job, can be anything that you are called to do that you're good at because it means alignment, you know. Literal alignment. Sorry, I've just got more readings coming through, but let's have a look. So, yeah, so you form a quality. You know, balance, structure. As also a mirror flip, you realise that someone was probably giving more to someone else, or they just wasn't giving to you at all. They could have been giving to another person or another family. They wasn't in alignment with that, and they just basically came in just to give you seeds of nothing. Seeds. These are seeds that have been given to peasants, right, in this card. But basically, I'm not calling you a peasant, Virgo, you know, but basically giving you seeds like this seed of intention that didn't move anywhere because they were probably not moving on anything in life, and it just kept them stuck, you know. So they're facing each other, slow progression of nothing, of doing the same thing, stuck. But on the other end of the scale, you've got ending that then you form a quality of balance of making your own judgment call. You can't wait for people to make a judgment call on you. If you're doing that, well, that's the same thing of what I said at the beginning. What are you fighting for? Fighting is the same as waiting. What are you waiting for? Life to end or life to begin? So that Scorpio. Scorpio. So you could be dealing with a Scorpio. Don't know why I said that, but it could be a Scorpio in their chart maybe. Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. I've got no idea why I did say that, but I did. Virgo for the rest of. Let's have a look, Virgo. So holding on. So someone, you could be holding on to an air sign, or you could just be more structured and guarded within that now. Or an air sign could be holding on to you, or an earth sign could be holding on to you, or you're learning more about holding on to what it is that you've learned through being more structured. That is kind of a good energy for a start because of an ending, okay? But you can't always remain like this. You can't always remain like this because of ascension of money and thoughts and feelings, you can't let someone make you feel that you need to be guarded and protected. You know, someone could be wanting to protect you. It could be that. It could be a protector, okay? And they're helping you learn that. But this energy needs to be free-flowing at one point. So someone could be teaching you to open up. Yeah, could be. You know, when you learn to open up, you learn to receive. You learn to forget the past, and you learn an ascension of a chain of opening because of equality, you see. You learn that as you do that fresh beginning. So you could have well experienced an ending, you know, and it was a very painful one. Very painful one. And it's caused you to make a judgment call. And this can be them or you, vice versa, Sun, Moon, Rising or Venus. But someone made a judgment call and someone probably didn't. Okay, I'm not going to lead you up the garden path. We're not all on the same path and timelines. People have been going through this for a very long time, or they've just been going through it for a chain of a pattern, a cycle that can last as long as it takes for you to get your lesson, you know. So some people make it and some people don't, and that's why they need more guidance, you know. Some people do make it, it's just because they've been experiencing it longer, Virgo, that's all. There's no specific outline to ascension. You know, that's why people like me can find it, well, I don't. People, a lot of people, they kind of like, you know, they hate a reader for not giving over the message that they really want to hear, but the hardest thing to ever hear is the truth, right? You know, so they go off, they find, could be a Cancer, you know, or Sun, Moon, Rising or Venus, but they find their present self. So basically, you know, some people that don't want to hear the truth, because that is also the truth card speaking, you know, a guide. But if they don't want to hear that, they just want to go off to hear someone that gives them the Mrs. Jones effect. That's not blame. It's just some people, they live in denial because they really want something, you know. But you can't ever get something by forcing yourself by fight, you know, because you get the fight or flight. It's just you can't. There's no point to arguing and well, you know, some people like to keep up that appearance of pride, but that's what keeps the ego alive and keeps them stuck and not making a forward movement themselves. So people go backwards, you know, because that's looking backwards at being stuck. But the people that have learned, you know, you're learning more about forward movement and passion. You know, passion. This is the Sphinxes, so this is also like a new soulmate type energy as well. But this is like feeling passionate again and just like relieving your present self. You know, Father Christmas always delivers a present, and if you don't understand about being grateful for the small fresh things in life, you don't see the bigger things. You have to see the small things in life to grow a small seed of an intention of ascension of equality, to form more of a structured self in order to live presently. You know, a lot of people, they concentrate more, for some reason people concentrate more on the past than what they'd actually do their future. You know, they want to know what their future is, but what they miss in Ascension is the present self. They forget to live presently in the present moment for a feeling and a thought. You know, they can't be seen, they're just memories. They're memories that keep that pride and ego alive, literally, you know. So it stops your forward path of meeting people new because your memory is what's created by control. You know, through Ascension of learning release, that you learn that your mind can't be controlled by a controlling mind. You know, so, you know, as your last one had Hitler and Sergeant Major, right? But that's what Hitler actually, you know, formed that of narcissism, you know, because it was, he used to stand on like parades and kind of like Hail Hitler, you know. It's just a part of the Ascension of what we all learned through that. But, you know, it's someone that likes attention constantly, but always fights everybody, and it's never enough. It's just never enough. No matter what you give, it's just not enough. It's that I want to conquer the world, and until I do, I fear death. Narcissism, they fear death. You know, they might say that they will, but they fear it because they want to control it. They want to control the rest of the time that they have here. So that's why they lie, and that's why they blame, and they tell you that it's you, you know. And they manipulate and they twist and they talk about themselves constantly of something that you done or that you didn't do right, or something about themselves that makes themselves look good, that makes you look small. You know, small, that your offering of life is small and it's not good enough, and that they're better than what you are. So it forms the fight or flight, makes you worried about moving forward yourself. You know, you're scared to move forward because someone's controlling your mind of making you feel that you're worthless. No, it's not. It's not. Well, it's not great behaviour, but you can only learn that by doing it. You know, but so let's have a look at judgment. So I'll try and give you a spin on people that may or may have not made the call. Judgment call. Please clarify judgment call. Judgment info. 0202 on the clock. Sorry, so you had an offer flipped over. I didn't see it. So great, yeah. So you're making offers. People are making offers to you, or you're making offers, or you're literally just becoming more grounded and stable. So what I was saying about living in the present tense, that when you realise a small offer is actually everything because it's really what we want, you learn that a small offer actually grows because you can't be disrespectful for what it is that you receive. You have to learn to be open in order to receive. If you can't receive anything, you can't give anything, you know. So then we have opportunity to take something fresh and new, or give or receive, you know. So it could be coming in, it could be going out. So it depends. If you're still stuck on the past, someone may be coming back in order to offer you something, you know, but that's opportunity. That doesn't mean it's going to be grounded and stable, and it's going to persist to be grounded and stable if you've not learned. They might offer you something grounded and stable, but it only becomes stable when you work on it. You work on a stable partnership. You work on the feeling through the communication, right? And you learn that when you work on that, that's when it becomes a bond, a trusting bond, something that's grounded and stable. The communication makes it grounded and stable through the stable thoughts and feelings of someone that's trusting. So you form a tight bond of realising that you're not Superman and Batman. You pull yourself together and realise that you are the strength and no one else is. So it can be self-committed to self-love also, you know. Let's have a look at the King of Swords. King of Swords. Yeah, great. So mother. So yeah, I'm thinking this is you, Virgo. So motherhood could be pregnant, you know, wanting to be pregnant, but basically standing in my own power now. You know, become more structured, more independent, more wise, full of wisdom, have children, know how to look after them, know how to be more caring, nurturing for others. I've learned ability of cutting people out literally in my soul groups of people also. You know, I feel real good and fresh and new. To take new directions in life, and that's fucking brilliant. Let's have a look at the Chariot. The Chariot. Yeah, wow, great. So the Chariot brings in the present self. So you could meet a Cancer, or you could have Cancer in your chart, or the present self brings in very grounded and stable and nurturing. Someone, this is a trusting bond. This is someone that is obviously caring and grounded themselves, but they're very trusting, and because they're strong and independent. You know, the bond that you find with strong and independent creates a strong and independent too, and that's why it's the counterpart to the King. You know, it's a trust, it's a bonding trust of someone that's the feminine or masculine, you know, or basically someone that's grounded and stable and knows how to be independent. You know, it's an independent card because it's on its own. So you could have Cancer and Earth in your chart, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or you could meet someone that is a Cancer, okay, or you have children that have Cancer in their chart and they're becoming more grounded through you. Could also have air in their chart too, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and that's you guiding them as they're guiding you. You're teaching them about being more independent, because that's also wise and wisdom. So your mirrored lesson of what you can teach through your soul groups of people are teaching your family, should do, all told with people, that you are more independent and wise, and that it reflects outwardly of a lesson of what karmic situations actually show you to become more independent, and it heals family. You know, when you learn through your karma, you learn that you receive a reward. It's just not one reward, it's fucking many. Believe you me, it's many, you know. So there's not much more to clarify, because that's great. Yeah, justice. Justice is served. You could have Libra in your chart, or Libra could come in, or this is basically just balance and justice. This is your karmic justice for your reward. Your reward is well seen by guides or spirit. They notice that the effort that you've put in to break away, or someone's broke away from you. It's vice versa, Virgo. I can't tell you. You'll only know yourself. But you could receive information that you like from someone, or that you like, and you could be communicating, because that is a communicating card too, you know. And it can just be a stable offer that leads to equality. Someone that wants to hold on to you, you them, and then you move forward in something that's stable and committed. But there's really nothing bad apart from the bad spin that I was saying through your learning. But that's great. So I'm going to leave that there for your first half of January, Virgo. So I hope you like it. Okay. If you want a reading, that everything's in the description now. I've really got to sort out my PayPal link, because I think there might be a problem. So if you're going to pay, please pay by card at the moment. I'll have to go over that and wonder what that is, but I'm going through that anyway. But anyway, that is your reading, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you soon. Cheers, guys. Bye.